Hey everyone, it's Ross, aka It's RVM. Today's video is going to be all about how I went from being the lowest I've actually ever been in my life, which was due to coronavirus pandemic, to the point where I am now, where my situation actually hasn't changed at all, but I'm upbeat and I'm positive all the time, and that's lasted for about a month now, maybe even 6 weeks. And in that time, we've gone from being in tier 2, gyms being open, cafes, restaurants and all that being open, seeing friends, into tier 4, gyms shutting, and then as of last night into lockdown, when now I can't even go into Subway to get a sub, can't even go into Costa to get a coffee. Little bit of background on me and why the coronavirus pandemic affected me so much. I have a small group personal training business, and I used to train 8 people at once, and I then got pushed into lockdown. When we went into lockdown, I lost about 40% of my clients, and I had to drop my prices as I went on to a online program. And then when we opened the gym up again, I could only train 5 people at once, so I have had a massive drop in income. And this year I was actually set to just travel the world all year. My business was doing really well, so I trained up an employee and he was going to coach the sessions for me whilst I just did the marketing, signing people up, the programming, check-ins and all the organisational side of things. So I ended up taking a massive pay cut, hardly earning any money at all, having to work really hard just to get everything set up for the online program. And then at the age of 31, ended up being stuck in my parents' house, in the bedroom that I grew up in, single, you know, just like spending every single day on my own. Both my parents smoke, so I don't really spend any time with them, like sat down, watching telly together or anything like that. I have a good relationship with my parents, I get on really well with them, but I just don't really spend much time with them because of that. So it was like really lonely. I had victim mentality because I basically was just like, why is this happening to me? Like, why am I so disproportionately being affected by this? Like, I've basically had my whole lifestyle taken away from me. My business sucks. I can't travel anymore. I'm not meeting new people. I just felt completely unfulfilled. I felt really resentful, and I was just really down, really lonely. And this went on honestly until maybe like November time. And then I heard something and it completely changed everything. And it took a little while for the effects to come in. But the one thing that you can do that will really change how you feel about things without changing your situation is being conscious of how you react to stuff, and stuff being the media that you consume and the people that you're around. So if something provokes a negative reaction from within you, but you're not proactive in either doing something to change it or whatever, then just stop it. Just stop engaging and stop indulging that kind of media, and stop engaging that kind of content, stop engaging that kind of conversation. So for me, I was really into politics and following everything around the pandemic. But what I found was I was negatively reacting to it. It was putting me in a bad mood, but like I wasn't being proactive. I wasn't actually doing anything to change anything. So in that scenario, I was consuming this media, having a negative reaction, but whether I consume it or not, nothing actually changes. The only thing that happens is I end up in a bad mood and get a negative reaction for it. So I just unfollowed anything political, anything about the pandemic. Next up was actually conversations with people. So because work's been really tough for me this year, and my business has really struggled because of coronavirus pandemic, I had a lot of anxiety and stress around this. And just something as simple as someone asking me, oh, how's work going? Like, I'm honest. If you ask me how work's going, I'll tell you. And then you leave that conversation and you think, oh, that sucks for Ross. And then like Ross is up till 4 a.m. at night not being able to sleep. So I would say to the people who would ask me about work, friends, family and things like that, I remember having a conversation with my dad and I said, like, I know the intention's good, but like, just don't ask me about work. Like, it sucks. Like, it sucks hard. Like, don't ask me how work's going. Don't ask me if I'm going to work. Don't ask me if I've been to work. Like, just don't bring it up. and I just said, there's like loads of other things you can ask me about. Ask me about what I'm watching on Netflix, what I'm doing is fun, what's interesting me and stuff like that. And credit to my dad, he's been really, really good with that. He's not asked me about work since, and instead he'll ask me about like Netflix, or if I've been out, like, oh, have you been out for a walk somewhere different today, or like whatever and stuff like that. So have conversations with the people that you're with, and if they talk about subjects that trigger you to be in a bad mood and negatively react, like just say to them, like, I know your intention's good, you're just making chit chat, or you're just showing interest in me, but like when you bring up that topic, sometimes I have a really negative reaction to it. So that is pretty much it. I literally unfollowed anything that gave me a negative reaction, and I started being proactive instead. And when I started feeling in a good place and I wasn't in a bad mood, it changed my perception. And the thing about perception is there is one reality, but how you perceive that reality is completely different. So in this moment right now, I'm in the same situation. I'm single, I'm still in that room that I grew up in my parents' house. They still smoke. I don't spend much time with them other than just seeing them in the house a bit here and there and having a little bit of a chat, but I won't sit down with them and watch telly or anything like that. So every evening I'm normally just on my own watching some Netflix. And yeah, business, it still ain't booming. We're on Zoom, it's getting better. But how I perceive this has completely changed. Instead of thinking, oh, this sucks, I'm a victim of circumstance, and just wallowing in self-pity because of it, I'm like, okay, it's gonna get better, and what I need to do now and what I can be proactive about is I can start building other streams of income. So this is why I'm on YouTube, starting a YouTube channel, so eventually if I build up my subscribers, then I'll get money off of it from adverts. I've been proactive, got new clients into my Zoom sessions. I'm gonna launch an online coaching program, and I'm just being more proactive and just doing things, and that in itself makes me feel better. But my perception now is, all right, cool, I've got this opportunity to do all that, and when we get back to normal, instead of just having that income, I'm gonna have the income I used to have plus extra income. So it's just win-win. And all of that started and snowballed as a result of being hyper aware of how I was reacting to media, how I was reacting to topics and conversations, and then either unfollowing that media or having a conversation with someone that I don't want to talk about that topic, and then giving them options to talk about other things as well. And just also when you have that conversation, just like say to people that, like, I'm aware you're asking it from a place of good intention, but it's just that I personally, it triggers something in me. And that's pretty much it. So if you found this useful, let me know. It's not easy. You'll notice that there are a lot of things that negatively trigger you, and it takes constant conscious effort. But if I can go from having a meltdown and being close to the point of like breaking down every single time that we've had the gym shut and I've had to like go onto Zoom and take a hit in income and take clients messaging me, like every time that we've gone into lockdown, I've had about a 40% drop off in clients. No disrespect to them, like I completely understand it, but a lot of people just don't want to do Zoom sessions, which is absolutely fine. There's a bunch of people that do, we get great results still on Zoom for those that do. But you can imagine, like, you've got to change everything, write a program up, get everyone engaged in it, hand kit out, because every time we've gone into lockdown, I've handed kit out to clients. And then on top of that, you're working so hard and all you're getting is a client cancel, client cancel, client cancel, client cancel. And you're just seeing your income go boom, 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 boom. And done. So yeah, don't negatively react, be proactive.